Roulette is a standard casino game that involves a wheel, a ball, 37 numbers in European style or 38 numbers in American style roulette, and a table with several betting options on it. So what's the object of roulette? Well, in the purest sense, you're guessing which number the ball will land on once the ball is spun. Let's get into what the table setup looks like, and for this video, we're going to use American style roulette. You've got your wheel here with 38 numbers, including 0 and 00, and then numbers 1 through 36. The 0 and 00 are green, while the rest of the numbers are either black or red. 18 numbers are red and 18 numbers are black. The table looks like this, and has various betting options for the player. The bets on this part of the table are called inside bets, while the bets on this area are called outside bets. We'll get to those momentarily. Each number that's on the wheel is outlined here on the felt, while other bets such as red or black, even or odd, and so on, can also be found on the table. Depending on the casino, you may also see a reader board. This will track the last 15 or 20 numbers that have hit and can be a good resource for the player. Roulette can be an exhilarating game, especially if you hit a large payout on a single number bet. But there are many ways that you can bet this game, so let's get into the betting options you have, starting with the inside bets. Now you can simply bet straight up on the number that you want to. For example, you just want to bet on your lucky number 7. Just place your chips on the number, and if you win on any of these straight up numbers, your bet pays 35 to 1. Next, you can make a bet on a split, which covers 2 numbers. So let's say you want to make a split bet on the 7 and the 8. You'll place your bet here, and if the ball lands on either of those numbers, you win, and that bet pays 17 to 1. Let's talk about a street bet. A street bet is a bet that covers 3 numbers that are in the same row. So looking at the roulette table here, you bet on the row that includes 25, 26, and 27. So place your bet right here. If the ball lands on any of those 3 numbers, you win, and that pays 11 to 1. Want to make a bet that covers 4 numbers? Well, you can. This is what's called a corner bet. Let's say you place your chips here. You'll be betting on 10, 11, 13, and 14. So if the ball lands on any of those numbers, you win your bet. A corner bet pays 8 to 1. Next is what's called the 6-line bet. This bet covers 2 rows that are next to each other. For example, we'll place a bet on 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12. You place your bet here, and if the ball lands on any of these numbers, you win that bet. A 6-line bet pays 5 to 1. Last thing for inside bets is what's called the basket. First thing you should know is that this is a bet that can only be placed on the 00 wheel. So if your online casino has this, you can make this type of bet. The basket bet is placed right here on the corner of the 0 and the 1. So this bet covers 0, 00, 1, 2, and 3. So this entire area here, and pays out 6 to 1. Those are your inside bets. Now let's talk about the outside bets. The first one I want to talk about is red or black. Pretty straightforward in that you're betting on the color that the ball stops on. You would place your bet on this part of the table, and you win if the ball stops on the same color that you've bet on. This one pays even money. Same thing for an odd or even bet. This is betting on whether the ball will land on an even number or an odd number, and also pays out at even money. For this, you would place your bet here, and you win if the ball stops on your corresponding bet. You can also make a bet on the ball landing on any number between 1 and 18, or any number between 19 and 36. These bets pay even money as well. Self-explanatory, but let's say you place your bet here on the table for the 19 to 36 option, and the ball spins and stops on 25. You win the bet. Next up, let's look at the dozens bets. You can find 3 options for this type of bet, located here on the roulette table, and they go as follows. You can bet on the first dozen, which would be 1 through 12, second dozen, which would be 13 through 24, or third dozen, which would be 25 through 36. Let's use first dozen as an example. You place your bet right here inside the first dozen space on the table, and if the ball stops on, let's say 10, you win that bet. These bets pay out 2-1. Another type of outside bet you can make is called a column bet. This gives you any column of 12 numbers, and you can place these bets right here. Let's say you bet on the first column here. That gives you numbers 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, all the way down to 34. These bets pay 2-1, and you win if the ball stops on any of these numbers in this column. One thing to note is that if you're betting outside bets and the ball lands on 0 or 00, you'll lose that bet. You've got the basics down, so now it's time to play a little roulette and try to win some big money. But always remember, play within your limits and always gamble responsibly. To stay up to date on the latest game guides and strategy, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Gamble Online, the world's leading resource for online gambling information since 2008.